with that with your manga, Xrossmancer. It's it's
Yes,
it's
Crossmancer.
it's I remember you talking about it. I remember seeing little drawings. I remember seeing the pose, and I'm like, man, I can't wait for this. And I think within that years, when that year turned, and in that year from when I first saw it to like a year later, you had a lot more going on.
Mm.
And I remember we got online and we talked about this and everything. And I think from that year to 2 years later, if I'm correct, you finally dropped it.
Yes.
And not only did you dropped it with an LLC called Mavros Prime. And
Yes.
by the way, people, I will be putting up links. All right, there will be links in the description. There will be links here that you click on because you have to go read the first chapter. But so I want you to talk about the journey. I know you started during COVID, but I want to talk about the journey of creating the story, the artwork, and finally putting it all out there. Especially, I want you to include um, what the idea of Marvel's Prime. Where did that come from, and everything as well.
Word. Yeah. So yeah, like yeah, I mean, like you said, I started during COVID, um, and like I anime, manga, they go hand in hand, and obvious. So no, doing my research, realizing that one single person can't make an anime, one single person can make a manga. And everyone needs to know that. Like anyone who has any type of dreams of ever becoming any type start, you got to start small. And in a manga, I mean, even a manga sometimes is kind of difficult, but it's not difficult to the point where you can't create. But it's I mean, things come with quality and quantity. And at my age, and having money and a job and using that COVID money, I was able to hire. I was able to hire artists to make my dreams reality because I knew that I did not have the artistic skill that I wanted to see on paper then. So I was like, eh, that's the best. Then the next best. If you can't draw it, I'll tell you. If you can't draw it, pay someone to draw it for you. And I know that might be hard for younger kids. Like, you gotta deal with what you got. Like, you don't have jobs. You have to use your parents' money, so on and so forth. But because I've since then I've obviously been learning to draw. Like now I have a very high ceiling for my drawing skills, but like I'm still not. So now I do my own storyboarding.
Okay.
I don't. I used to pay somebody for storyboarding. Now I don't pay anybody for storyboarding
Not a
because
story.
I can.
Like real quick,
Oh,
storyboarding, and that's like the
it's when you
breakdown.
yeah, it's like the breakdown when you draw out the scenes on
Okay.
what's going to be on what page and the positioning, this, that, and the other. It's not very detailed, but you will get the gist of it, and then you have someone clean it up. You have a
Okay.
cleanup artist that they do all the details and all the fine tuning and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how it started out during COVID, and now so yeah, so like I paid some artists, and the artists I paid, they were very. I mean, I actually wrote about this on my website because the artists that took I paid one of my artists that I grew up with. Her name's Samantha Small, very talented. She created the Crossmancer characters.
Okay.
Then I took them to a very popular artist right now that everybody knows in the comic era, who is he. When I paid him, I literally wrote about it. I think I am the last, and I want to say it's low paying because if it was, I ain't got that much money, but I was able to commission this man. I was able to commission this man for all seven Crossmancer characters before he started drawing for DC, and that's Nicholas Draper Ivy. Nicholas Draper Ivy is the main artist on Static Shock for DC right now.
Oh wow.
So if you've seen, I was gonna say I don't know, I didn't bring my box, but I have his comics in my box. He is the main artist for DC Comics for Static Shock right now, which they just and Milestone, a Milestone record, not Milestone, it's called Milestone. and he did 7 of my drawings for Xrossmancer, and that's when it went from one level to a next. And with that, I was able to start. I say I have my base characters. After that, you just build your story and storytelling. I mean, that's just something that grows with you. Um, you got to tell your story. And Xrossmancer, like I wanted to represent different people. I wanted to have that diversity. So I put American students in Japan because obviously I'm American. I grew up in America, and I don't know exactly how it is. I don't know exactly how it is in Japan, but from my experience in anime and manga, I am translating that. So when these 7 students get transferred to Japan, they are growing the same way. They have very little knowledge about anime and manga, but they learn really quick because they're forced to.
Okay. So you giving them your experience. You giving them your journey. So your journey of learning is gonna be their journey of learning as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's literally like I want to say I have over 100 plot points that I want to of my experience, but I've only gone through maybe like 20 of them because the story is still growing. The story is still growing. Like I have a point where they actually I can't tell that much.
Nah,
I can't
don't
tell that
don't
much.
don't
Actually,
tell
I thought about that. I was like, wait.
that.
I was like, wait.
Don't ruin nothing. Nah,
That's the
nah,
spoilers.
nah.
Spoilers.
I want to say this before you go further more into it. Now, is there going to be a time where you yourself are going to travel to Japan personally and get that culture in there that's going to, you know, I want to say help you within your
Oh,
journey?
oh man, that's deep. That's deep because I was supposed to go to Japan. I bought tickets to go to Japan during COVID.
Ooh.
I literally, I wasn't married then. I was my girlfriend at the time. Uh, Fiance, as I think I just heard in the background. I
Jordan ain't playing. She
literally,
ain't playing.
right? So I saw my homeboy hit me up, told me the price of these tickets. I looked at her and I said, Terry just sent me the price of round trip tickets to Japan. So are we going or am I going? I was like, because I was like, either way, I'm about to drop money on these tickets. But we dropped money so I dropped money for both tickets. For 2 tickets, round trip to Japan during COVID was $950.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, dude. I was like, you can get a one-way ticket to Japan for $950.
That's a
It's
fact.
outrageous. It was outrageous. It was outrageous. So I bought those tickets and then I held on to them, and we were supposed to go not the beginning of this year. So the beginning of 2020 is when we were supposed to go. 22. The beginning of 2022, maybe. Might have been 21. It's been a while. I don't know. It had to be 22. Had to be 22 because Japan opened their borders last year. So yeah, we were supposed to go in early last year, early 2021. Apparently, still. So,
Hey, she's back there correcting you.
right? Yeah. Camera. What is early 2021? We were supposed to go, but Japan's borders were closed.
Okay.
So they were not taking, if it wasn't for business, then you weren't allowed to come in. So they canceled the trip, gave us our money back. I literally told them, I was like, yo, don't give me the money back. Just give me the tickets. I was like,
Change the date.
yeah, I was like, yo, just change the date. It doesn't have to, I don't need the money back. Just change the dates. But they gave us our money back.
Oh,
And
you
yeah,
know,
that was my one chance. And now, who knows? With the daughter in tow, who knows when I will be able to travel to Japan?
no, it will be hard, of course, to travel. with the baby. You just have to wait till the baby gets a little older and then
Yeah.
drop them off at the grandparents. Like, yo, we be back in a week.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I was like, a week. I think I think I think our week was minimum 2 weeks. Might have been 3 weeks, but no, it was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. No, trust me, I'm thinking about it, but I also don't want to, I don't want to run the parents into the ground. So
No, no,
we'll see.
I know. I don't think I've ever taken like a true vacation for like a week or some change without my son.
Yeah, that's hard.
But I am this summer though.
Yeah.
Meet you running.
Stop.
We hit the peace sign on them kids.
Hey, look, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Take your ass to your grandparents. We out.
Mm,
But
mm.
okay, but unfortunately, COVID messed that up. But are there still plans for that trip though?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if anything, the best case scenario would be for my manga to do so well that I almost have to go to Japan. You know,
Okay.
that would be the goal because one thing I've learned while as in production is that, which I feel like a lot of small studios or entrepreneurs don't think about, is another. It's not diversity, but it's like being worldly. Like if you want something to sell, and you have to make it not just for Americans. You have to make so like a lot of small, like there's these couple of video game companies I follow that are indie studios, and after they make their game, they don't work on like marketing. Just like a lot of people just market in America, but if you start translating your stuff and marketing it to another country,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it is. That's where it is. So like after, I want to say probably after the first arc of Crossmancer, the goal is to get it translated to Japanese and Chinese and Portuguese and whatever have you. And then honestly, probably I also want to do a lot of work with African studios. But that's a little further down the road because I talk to a lot of different indie creators, and I know a couple of African creators who I want to get with, but I just need to know. I'm still learning on that part, but yeah, no, it is something that's definitely in the works. That's like it's on. I have like a time frame, and that's on that time frame.
No, it's a step by step. No, no shortcuts because shortcuts is going to lead to mistakes and a bunch of other stuff and detours that you don't need while creating this process. So with that we got with Crossmancer,
Mm-hmm.
which by the way, how many chapters is the first arc? If you
That I have it on paper, but who knows how long it's gonna take, or who knows how big it is, because I know the beginning and I know the ending, but things, right now I want to say each chapter is slated for like 28 pages.
okay,
So, and the first, so I'm like after like maybe I try to think about how many. Like I try to make a comparison to Japanese manga, and I want to say their mangas are anywhere from what, like 80 pages to 150. So probably like 2 books.
okay.
Yeah, I tried to do the math. I have the math broken down
Okay, now
somewhere,
you
but
good. So with Crossmancer, you probably have other things in the work, right?
oh,
Other
three
ideas.
thousand,
Yeah,
three thousand percent.
for a fact. But before that, you have Marvel's Prime,
Yes.
and now was that always the idea when when you started thinking of all this in COVID, or was Marvel's Prime something that happened later on as Crossmaster became more and more real it became more and more real on
It
paper and
it
everything.
definitely came it definitely came later on as Crossmancer became more real. Because at first when I first started making Crossmancer, I was just thinking about the storyline and getting it produced, and I was like, okay, that's once it became once it had a steady ground, like, to stand on. I was like, all right, so now I got to think about how do I get this to people to read it, this, that, and the other. Well, I have to present it myself, and I was like, well, how do I present it? I have to present it as a person, and I was like, well, what if someone comes to me and was like, oh, I heard about your manga, this, that, and the other. How do I read it? How do I get to it? And so I was like, well, I can't just be like, well, you can go to my Instagram, you go to my Facebook. I needed a base of operations.
Mm-hmm.
I needed a base of operations, so I was like, well, I guess I have to make some type of company, some type of place that represents what I'm doing, and that's when I came up with Mavros Prime. And me operating as Poseidon Magna, the anyone, you know, everyone, I'm sure most people who know, not all people. I found out the other day that not everybody knows who Poseidon is. Very weird.
But
I was
and,
just,
and I was gonna ask you, guy, because I know with Poseidon we're talking about if I'm not all the way correct, but we talking about water. We talking about like any like any Poseidon like a like I guess a god underwater or some sort of that way.
what
So
about it? Yeah.
like Poseidon, he's like a god of water, right? Like he's
Mm-hmm.
the god of the of the ocean and everything.
Yeah.
Poseidon, he has his trident and everything, right? So, but then you also got Magna, which is fire.
Mm.
So I wonder where those is there those like attributes of yourself of those two things.
Well, so um, Poseidon definitely came from. So I am I mean, like you, like I mean, we both played RPGs through our childhood. And so, like, and I don't know about you, but me personally, I learned a lot of mythology from video games.
Okay.
And when I realized that when I would talk to people about mythology, they didn't know nearly as much as I did, I was like, wow, that's incredible because I felt like it came so easy to me. I knew mythology at a young age, and it was from RPGs where you would see Zeus
Mm-hmm.
and Hades from you learn Hades and Zeus from Hercules, Disney movie. We learn all this stuff at young ages, but a lot of people just didn't know. So I always felt like Poseidon was the lesser seen of the two brothers. Um, so I definitely went into that, but Magna is actually, ooh, excuse me. It's kind of like I forget the word what they call it when I gotta look it up because I did this on my last review. I still haven't looked it up. Um, Magna is how when you have a word and you mix it up
It's
to
like
mean it.
it's like a play on words. So
Right.
you have it mean something. You have it mean something else, but this is what you truly mean, or what instead of
Exactly. So
okay.
Magna, obviously, I create manga. I literally switch the letters around,
Uh,
and Magna is Greek. It's a Greek word, kind of like Magna Carta or stuff like that. So I took that as a last name for my moniker. But yeah, no. So it does it. So it's not fire, but
okay.
it's not. Yeah, it's not fire, but it's actually a. I gotta look up that word.
It's not fire, but it's still fire though.
Nah.
It's not
Yeah.
fire, but
Yeah.
no. Okay. So so are you gonna go? So are you going by that as the author for Crossmancer? Like, is that gonna be the artistic name when you put out the product? Is it gonna be
Yes.
Poseidon? Okay,
Yeah. So yeah, my pen name, the name I go by is Poseidon Magna, which in Latin Magna means great. So yeah.
okay. So look at that. Now are you gonna create a logo for the Poseidon Man to create like something
Oh,
that?
We've been there. We've been there. Let's see if I. Let's see. Yeah, no. Poseidon Magna has a logo, and so does Mavros
I
Prime.
know. I saw the
Yeah.
Mavros Prime logo for a fact.
I can.
Yeah, you have to email that to me.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely have to. Yeah, because it's not on my art station, unfortunately, but
Not
it's on my iPad. Wait, hold up, my back. It's in reaching. It's in arm's length. I can pull that out because, yeah. So, this logo was actually helped with my one of my closest friends from childhood. Uh, she goes by D Vinci, who is an artist, created this for me. Um, because like I said, yeah, I wanted a logo and all that jazz. So there you go. This is the logo for Poseidon Magna. Let's see if
That's dope. Okay, okay, I like
it
that. I like that.
yeah, that is my logo.
It gives it like
And
this. It gives it like this trident look, but you go almost like, but
yeah,
you can almost hold it like a sword as well.
that's right. Love it.
Okay.
She
Now,
did great on that. She
that she
killed
did
that.
a good job. Now going back to Crossmancer. So of course I read the first chapter, and you keep a lot of like those uh, Japanese humor. And then especially when she's eating the ramen,
Uh,
and she
they'll tell it all. They
no,
gotta read it. They
no,
gotta read
nah,
it.
nah, nah. But like, like I saw that and I was just like, yo, this is spot on. Like this is so spot on, the humor of it all. Um, and just like the just one thing when like when the bell rings and it shortens to like the little chibi almost look because it like shocked those little things, those things hit for me because it's like, okay, he's being very detailed on certain scenes and paying attention to a lot of things, and I love that. I mean, listen, like I said, link's gonna be down in the description below. It don't take much to click the link and to read, especially if you're into anime, you're into mangas. You're gonna have to read that to see what I'm talking about. Because when you do see those scenes, you're gonna know exactly what I mean. You're gonna laugh your ass off. It is the best thing in the world. Um, now I call it So we got Mars Prime, we got Crossmancer. Now we got DreamCon.
Ah, Dream
We
God.
got Dream, we have DreamCon coming up, which is, if I'm correct, is in the weekend of like what, September 14th through the 16th, something like that, or September.
No. That is those. Wait. So not no. It's not. It is September. No, that's not. No, that's not DreamCon. That's OcalaCon.
Ocalicon, there you
So
go. My fault. Ocalicon,
yes,
yes.
So, yeah, OcalaCon. So OcalaCon is going to be the first con where I will have my first table where I'll be selling Crossmancer for the first time ever.
Physical
That
copies. We're talking
physical
about.
copies, yes, like so you can read it online for free. Totally read it online for free. But I will be selling physical copies at OcalaCon in September, getting in Ocala, Florida. That is the first time Crossmancer's physical copies will ever be sold.
Now, what weekend is that? That's like what? Is it a 14, 15, 16? Is it like that Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I want to say it is. Let's see, the 19th. Okay, it is. I can't read. Six. No, yeah, you're right. 16th and 17th.
16 and 17. That's that Saturday
Yes,
and Sunday, right?
September. Yeah,
Hey,
September 16th and 17th.
just know I'll be there.
No,
I'll be
I
there.
can't wait to see you, man.
It's in the weekend.
Yeah.
I will be driving Friday night. I will be there. I will be there full blast. I'll be there to record. I'll be there to buy. I'll be there to
Hey, man.
represent and support all the way.
Yeah, I'll put it in it's at an equestrian center, and I've been there once or twice, and I know they have a hotel on the ground. So if you stay at that hotel, man, you be straight, you know.
Oh, nice.
But that, yeah, that is separate. So I am going to DreamCon, though.
Okay.
I am going to DreamCon because, I mean, it's RDC. That's RDC's, anime convention. I got those tickets as soon as possible, and last year they announced that they're doing their own manga and their own anime, and they have a lot of. I feel like DreamCon, I mean, since I've been like looking at their stuff, they've got a lot of talent, a lot of black talent specifically that attends. That I feel like it would be a very good networking situation. So I mean, I'm like, I'm probably gonna try to hand out copies to RDC and be like, look, this is me. Where you at? Trying to, because I mean I can't see him. I've misjudged people, or I've overstepped boundaries before, and I don't want to judge nobody's pockets. Because money, when it comes to these things, money is a thing. Like if you don't have, like I said, if you don't have the artistic talent to do something, pay somebody, especially if you want it quality. And it might be expensive. It might be expensive, but if you want quality, pay somebody, because and nothing makes like I like it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years, almost three, if not three, where I've only got one chapter. But when people look at my chapter, they give me such great compliments saying how it's some of the most quality work they've seen, some of the most, even though you give me quality or compliments right now, like that makes me feel amazing. That makes me feel good that I will never feel like I wasted money. I will never feel like I cut corners because I did my research, and like I could have drew this whole thing myself, with the little artistic talent I had just to get it out there. But I didn't. I was like, no, I'm gonna save up. I'm gonna use that COVID money, and I'm gonna try to make my dreams come true with some real deal stuff, because I know that I have the storytelling talent. I literally, like, I have a vision board, and you said you're gonna talk about this. We can talk about this a little later, but on my vision board, I have Crossmancer obviously at the top, but I have four other mangas that I'm looking to work on, and I think I've announced one of them on my Instagram. I have 7 comic books that I want to talk about or do work on, and that's like American style comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked and worked with a lot of people from Concrete Studio or Concrete Comics, Concrete Comics, and then there's like Black Sands and all these other
I've,
black,
I've seen the
these
Black
black
Sand
led
ones.
comic books. Yeah, so like I have ideas like my American led comic books, even though I love them, I'm not. I would be willing to collaborate with other people on those type of things, but my manga not so as much. And then I have my video game section where I have 4 to 5 video games ideas that I'm working on. Like that's my vision board. So like this isn't just like a small like, oh man, I'm gonna try to do this all by myself. Like no, I've got plans that if I get a team, if I get money, if I get backing, if I get support, if I get sponsors, Mavros Prime is going to blow up. It will, it will blow up. And I forgot because I know you're talking about how you love RPGs. I've actually been struggling with some stuff for an RPG recently, so me and you need to talk off camera because
That we can make happen. That we
yeah,
can make happen. Ain't
like
nothing but a thing. No,
yeah,
but see, I love that energy. I love that eagerness, that want, that will, to expand, to know that you gotta make at least make this one thing first, quality, make it stand out, make it pop, and but to know that that's not the only thing you're gonna rely on. There are other
right.
things, and there's ways to go about it, and it's a process to go about it. And no, and listen, Crossmaster shows that you're taking your time with it. Who cares? It's been 3 years. Who cares? It's one chapter. It's a quality chapter. That means that everything else from this point on is going to be quality work. We're talking
Right.
about from we're talking about from the representation of the characters, the face, the hairdo, the attitudes, the way of going into this new world that they're living in, and at the same time, giving a lot of love to the Japanese culture, the manga culture, with its little references, with its which is the jokes and the food and the school settings and stuff like that. So yeah, it's I can't wait. I can't wait to continue reading on to finish, but I also can't wait to see everything else you got coming along with you. I can't wait to see the other mangas that you got working on. Definitely can't wait to talk about this RPG thing you have going on.
Yeah, and mm,
I trust and I love your creative process, and I know the work is going to be worth it for a fact.
thank you, sir. Thank you.
No, definitely, definitely. Man, just it's been great just to just to see you come from where we came from. And
You couldn't tell me.
nah, it's who would have known, and just to see the growth as a person, seeing the growth as a man, a husband, now into a father, and then see you reach for the goals and your profession. It's a lovely thing to see, brother. Like every time I see something, I get happy, man, and um I can't express it even more. Just can't wait to see just can see more growth, can see who you become. Because I tell you this, people will always have a vision of what you once was as a child, a teenager, or in your young 20s, and and then when they see you years later, and that vision has to change. It forces them to see the growth, and if they can't see that, then they just ain't respecting the growth and the value. And I respect it all, brother, big time.
Facts. Big facts.
Um, Real quick before we go, shout out all your social media handles. What you got next? What you got going on? Even though we talked about it, give them one more reminder. Let them know what's up. Go.
Yeah, so if you guys want to head over Instagram, you can find us at Mavros Prime. That's Mavros Prime. That's where I do my updates as far as like artwork and projects that are going on. Or you can go to mavrosprime.com where you can also see the same thing. There's an art gallery from many different artists, including Metallica, Nicholas Draper Ivy, and one of my favorites, which is Canberoo. You can read the manga there also, and it's that I have a art station, but we're still working on that right now, and that is mostly, I think, yeah, Mavros Prime is where you're gonna find most of my stuff, and that's what we'll be doing, and even we'll be doing some twitching very soon, but we got to get the Twitch stuff, and that'll be like for game development and all that jazz.
I mean, yeah, hey, and real quick, he does have some videos out there. I mean, he was going live when
YouTube, that's right.
uh
Yeah, I gotta get someone to edit my YouTube videos. They're a little difficult for me. Like I've done editing, but I'm not as quick, and I know some people can pump that stuff out.
yeah,
So,
no, what was it when you was playing Pokemon? Which one you was
oh,
going live?
was not Scarlet. It was the one before this one.
No. It was the beta.
Black and
I,
oh,
we call it the beta for the MMO that they're gonna drop sometime in the near
that's what it
future.
is. That's what it is.
Um,
No one can tell me different. Yeah,
Arceus.
RC. That's right. That's
Arceus.
right. That's right.
I seen them going live plenty of times, and Arceus. I know I mentioned earlier in the beginning we were gonna talk about video games, but we're gonna leave that for a later episode. There was just so much to unpack with what he has
It
going on
is.
now. We
We got
will
to get
ha-
together more often.
we are gonna, I promise we're gonna have an episode of video gaming, and he does go live on Twitch, and I'm gonna try to join him as well and some of these games, and we're gonna have a blast, and we're gonna do what we do. So please follow him on everything. I will put the links down in the description below. They'll be up here. They'll be everywhere. Everywhere I could support and promote my man's, you will see it. As always.
Oh, my Twitch handle. Sorry, it's
Oh, there you
Poseidon
go.
Magna. Poseidon Magna is. I know I didn't say that. I was like, people were like, where is the Twitch handle?
There you go.
Poseidon Magna is the Twitch handle.
See, it'll pop. It probably popped up right now, and then it's gonna be down in the description below. But if you made it this far, thank you. Please check out Xrossmancer. I promise you, it's gonna be dope. You're gonna like the first chapter. It's gonna want you wanting more. You're probably gonna have to DM him and tell him hurry up for the next. But if you made it
Yo,
this
pay me
far,
out. I'll pay for it.
hey,
I'm telling you, it's coming.
listen, physical copy. I will have it on hand. I promise you. Come September, when I come back from R.W.Podcast, it will be on hand. I just might need two, so who knows? So
Yo, do that.
it's gonna be there. Like I said, you made it this far. You already know what's up, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, notification, comment down below, and as always, the best thing you could do. I mean, none of this takes much. It doesn't cost nothing, but you can always do, and you can share it and let everybody know what's up. With
Tell your mama.
Said, hey, tell your mama, your grandma, your cousins. Tell everybody you know that love the things that we love that we talked about. All right? And with that, peace.
Deuces.